in the toil of thinking, in the serenity of books, in the messages of prophets, the songs of poets, and the wisdom of interpreters, in discoveries of continents of truth whose margins we may see. We delight in free minds and in their thinking. In the majesty of the moral order, in the faith that right will triumph, in the courage given us when we ally ourselves to truth in any form, in the privilege of being co-workers in good causes, we celebrate the unseen goals we share and serve. Let us build a world safe from war and oppression, free and satisfying, one that ultimately furnishes answers for us all. Please be seated.
Graduands, friends and family, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Al Goss. I'm the Associate Dean at the Ted Rogers School of Management. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the land that we're celebrating on today. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Class of 2022, it is so wonderful to be able to celebrate your academic achievements in person. And I'm so proud to be here today in person to congratulate our new graduates and share in this special celebration with their family and friends. As students, you've demonstrated your ability to pivot to virtual learning during the pandemic, to adapt to the changing environment, and be resilient during a challenging time. You've also demonstrated your leadership and desire to push beyond conventional business education, take innovative and creative risks, and work collaboratively to contribute to our community. I encourage you to continue this approach as alumni and use the tools you have acquired here to promote business initiatives that have local, national, and global relevance and change society for the better. Although your time as an undergraduate student is ending, you remain a valuable member of our family. And like all strong families, our school embraces its deep and lasting connections to alumni. Speaking of families, I want to thank all of your families for supporting you through your Ted Rogers School experience. I'm so glad that you can be with us today. I sincerely hope that you will stay connected by joining your alumni association and that our paths will cross again in the workplace, at Toronto Metropolitan University events, or in the classroom as lifelong learners and graduate students. Take advantage of the many benefits and services that you have access to as alumni, including support from our Business Career Hub for Life. And when you're out there doing great work, your new colleagues will turn to you one day and they'll say, "That's so impressive. Where did you learn that?" And I want you to confidently tell them, "I'm from the Ted Rogers School of Management." To begin this very special day, I introduce to you the Chancellor of Toronto Metropolitan University, Janice Fukakusa.
Graduands, I am very proud and honored to speak to you today. Today is a well-deserved time for celebration, and we share our pride in your success with everyone whose love and support has played a part in bringing you here today. Now, normally at this stage of my remarks, I typically share a few pieces of advice for all of you. But after 2 years of pandemic, I think that it's you, the graduands, that should be giving us advice. Graduands, you went through a remarkable experience. You endured and came through it and achieved your ultimate objective. You succeeded by facing and overcoming unforeseen barriers. I hope you share your experiences with others and be proud of what you achieved. In fact, be proud of the impact you will have in the months and years to come on everything that you do, and take time to reflect on your achievements. It builds the confidence essential to overcome the inevitable challenges in the years ahead. And when you look back at your university experience, I encourage you to remember what you learned about yourself. That resilience gives you the means to learn from your experience, and determination will keep you focused on your dreams. After all of you have proven that you have the talent and drive to succeed. On this special day of celebration, let me close by offering my congratulations and best wishes for your journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Fukakusa. And now, please welcome the university's president and vice chancellor, Mohammed Lashmi.
Thank you. Welcome to our graduates, family and friends, colleagues from across the university community and beyond. Class of 2022, this is an important day for you, and you have our warmest congratulations. You graduate at a milestone moment in history. Despite the challenges brought on by the pandemic, you remain committed to your studies, kept connected with your classes, and served your community in more ways than I can mention here. A milestone also because your graduating year will be forever linked to our historic name change. What has not changed from the moment you choose to study here to the moment you cross the stage to accept your award are the values that define our university. And when you return as alumni, you will feel right at home. Class of 2022, the first graduating class of Toronto Metropolitan University, you helped shape this place. Now, both you and the university look ahead to a new chapter and a bright future. A future of promise and optimism, better prepared than ever to meet the challenges and opportunities ahead. This is your time. You have what the world is looking for: talent, energy, and new ideas. Your years here have prepared you for this moment. We are so glad that you choose this university, that you immerse yourself in our university community. And I hope you are feeling grateful for each other, for the good friends who shared your university experience and are now friends for life. Which brings us full circle. While we may find success as individuals, as a society, we depend on each other. We need loved ones, and I'm glad to see many of them celebrating with you today. We need colleagues and community. In French, you know, we never say goodbye. Instead, we say au revoir, which literally means until we see you again. Enjoy your very special day and stay close to your alma mater, for together we will shape the future. And now I invite you to please enjoy a short video.
Today marks a momentous moment in the story of your life. Just a few years ago, you began a new chapter. For some, that meant moving to a new city. For many, that meant discovering new perspectives. And for all, that meant opening your mind to new possibilities. Along the way, you were met with challenges unfamiliar to those who came before you and to those who follow. You embraced the responsibility of learning and unlearning, inspired by the people and places that played a part. Together, we evolved. While this chapter comes to a close, your story continues. Tomorrow, you'll remember this moment, not for who you were, but for who you have become. Today, we'll celebrate the diversity of your experience, your commitment to shaping a better future, and your part in our story. As the first graduating class of Toronto Metropolitan University.
This year marks an important milestone for the Ted Rogers School of Management. It is the 15th anniversary of the naming of the school in recognition of an extraordinary gift from Ted and Loretta Rogers. Ted Rogers died in 2008. Less than 2 weeks ago, we were deeply saddened to learn that Loretta Rogers had passed away. Their impact on this school and this university is immense. It cannot be underestimated. Their gift to business and creative education sparked a transformation that continues to this day. From just over 7,000 students in 2007, the business school has grown to 12,000 students today. To give you some perspective, enrollment in TRSM is now larger than the entire enrollment at 70 other universities in Canada. That's 2/3 of all Canadian universities. Our reputation has reached new heights as well. The Ted Rogers MBA is ranked number 3 in Canada by Bloomberg Business Week, and second in Canada for entrepreneurship and learning. Loretta and Ted Rogers believed that education changes lives, and they believed in the potential of TMU students. For more than 40 years, the support of the Rogers family has shaped our university history and positions us for the future. In addition to TRSM, the generosity sparked the creation of the Rogers Communication Center on our campus and launched the Edward S. Rogers Senior Graduate School for Advanced Communication in the Creative School. Loretta Rogers served on our Board of Governors and was awarded an honorary doctorate here in 2004. She was a great friend of the university, and we will forever remember her kind and generous spirit. To honor the memory of Loretta Rogers, I ask you all to please thank her for her contributions to our university with our applause. Thank you.
And now welcome to the podium, Rivi Frankel, Assistant Vice President, Development in the Office of University Advancement, to introduce today's honorary degree recipient.
Chancellor Fukakusa, President Lashemi, Provost Simpson, deans, esteemed colleagues, and representatives who join us on stage, members of the graduating class, family members and friends, and honored guests. It is my great privilege to deliver the citation for Avi Bennett, upon whom Toronto Metropolitan University is conferring the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa, our highest award. The career of the late Avi Bennett is best characterized by 4 key qualities he embodied. They are innovation, wisdom, responsibility, and success. As a business person, his career began with shopping center development. He pioneered the concept of retail plazas in Canada in the 1950s. Then, after 40 years in real estate, Mr. Bennett shifted direction and turned his attention to publishing and the arts. The year was 1985. Mr. Bennett learned that the renowned Canadian publishing house McClelland and Stewart, home to Margaret Atwood, Michael Ondaatje, and Alice Munro, was on the brink of financial collapse. No one was interested in stepping up to save the company. No one except Avi Bennett. Truth be told, he didn't know anything about Canadian publishing when he bought the company, and he didn't pretend that he did. But he immersed himself in that world and for 15 years did more than keep the company afloat. Why? Because he loved books, and he believed that books really mattered. Mr. Bennett had endless ideas for biographies and political memoirs to be commissioned, many of which became bestsellers. Fiction and poetry also thrived at Avi Bennett's McClelland and Stewart. In addition to Ondaatje, Atwood, and Munro, there was Robertson Davies, Mavis Gallant, Rohinton Mistry, Jane Urquhart, and poets Leonard Cohen and Al Purdy. Despite his success, it is safe to say that Mr. Bennett did not seek the limelight, and he did not draw attention to his business achievements and his generous philanthropy over many years. He donated 75% of McClelland and Stewart to the University of Toronto and gave generously to York University, where he was chancellor from 1998 to 2004. Here at Toronto Metropolitan University, a lead gift from the Bennett Family Foundation is helping Indigenous and first-generation students realize their dreams through the President's Awards to Champion Excellence. Mr. Bennett also supported the Toronto Public Library, the National Ballet, the Art Gallery of Ontario, and many other arts and culture organizations. Among his numerous honors, he was promoted to the level of Companion of the Order of Canada in 2004. His citation called Mr. Bennett one of the great altruists of our time. Those who were close to him cherished Mr. Bennett's funny, warm, quirky, and irreverent side. One of those friends is Guy Vanderhaeghe, a 3-time winner of the Governor General's Literary Award for Fiction. At the time of Mr. Bennett's passing in 2017, Mr. Vanderhaeghe described Avi Bennett as a charming rascal and a man of the utmost integrity, someone whose word was his bond. Avi Bennett, Mr. Vanderhaeghe said, had no time for unethical people, frequently saying he couldn't do business with anyone he wouldn't invite home to dinner. On a personal note, I met Avi more than 25 years ago. Over the years, we would often meet for lunch. Those conversations tended to be about family, but when he found out that my son played baseball, well, that changed things. Avi was an avid baseball fan, and from that moment on, all he wanted to talk about was Ethan's progress at the plate. No one, especially my friend Avi, can be rightly summed up in one word, but if I had just one word to describe Avi, it would be gentleman. Today, we're proud and pleased to honor Avi Bennett with the first ever posthumous honorary degree awarded by our university. The following video will give you even more insight into who Avi was and why we're honoring him today.
I had the great pleasure of meeting Avi Bennett a number of times. The memories of his warmth, his humanity, and his love of life are with me to this day.
He really was a person who really cared about values, who cared about people, and he decided that he would rescue one of the gems of the Canadian publishing industry, namely McClelland and Stewart.
McClelland and Stewart was in terrible financial trouble. Avi became so interested in this that he bought Jack McClelland's company.
I knew Avi Bennett for years because he stepped in to rescue McClelland and Stewart at a time when it had gotten into trouble. He became a publisher by doing that and took a great interest in Canadian books.
We, in those days, were publishing about 100 books a year, and they were quite simply the best Canadian books of the year.
As a businessman, Avi Bennett was an innovator and a visionary. In the community, his legacy as a generous supporter of art, culture, and education lives on.
Avi was the chancellor of York University for many years. He was the most wonderful chancellor. All the aspects that make Canadian culture deep and open, that was what Avi was dedicated to.
He knew the power that he had in society to bring about and influence social change. He felt through his philanthropy, this is one way that he could certainly make a meaningful difference, and he did so.
And he wanted to help individuals, and he wanted to contribute to programs that assisted people in getting a better education.
We talked a lot about that there was such a tremendous gap in educational achievement between Indigenous students and non-Indigenous Canadian students. And Avi really developed a resolve to put his personal resources to use in changing this situation.
At our university, his leading gift to champion excellence is helping Indigenous and first-generation students realize their dreams.
The Bennett Scholars, as we came to call them, will create change for all of us in the future.
He was a man who really understood our culture and understood where a gift makes a difference.
Avi was humble. In many cases, Avi helped people that it was never made public, just because he thought it was the right thing to do.
It's very appropriate that this honorary degree is to be given by Toronto Metropolitan University, because Avi was, above all, a man who loved the city.
If I had to describe him to someone who had never met him, a decent, empathetic, intelligent, caring human being who really wanted to make the world a better place.
I'm very pleased that you are giving him posthumously this honorary degree, which is very well deserved.
He's a fine example for graduating students as what they could do too, and what they could become too.
On this very special day, we are deeply grateful and very proud to celebrate the remarkable life of Avi Bennett with an honorary degree from Toronto Metropolitan University.
He was, in the fullest sense, a great and kind friend, and the country benefited from his kindness, his energy, and the fact that he was remarkably Avi Bennett.
I would now like to call on Chancellor Fukakusa, President Lashemi, and Avi Bennett's son, Paul, to the podium for the conferring of the degree.
Toronto Metropolitan University, by virtue of the authority granted by the Province of Ontario under the University Act, has posthumously awarded the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all the rights and privileges attended thereon to Avi Bennett.
Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, distinguished platform guests, graduates, and friends and families of graduates. The video and the kind words in the citation were amazing, and it made me feel very, very proud of my dad. My father believed in personal integrity, hard work, having fun, and giving back. Let me just give you a quick example of each. In 1963, the family business, of which was referenced, ran into very, very serious financial difficulties. Rather than let the business go into bankruptcy, my father went to the banks and the other lenders and said, "Why take 10 cents on the dollar? Give me a chance, give me time, and I'll pay you back with interest." They did. And after 10 years of hard work, long hours, and no vacations, he paid them back in full with interest. This made his reputation honest and honorable, a person who kept his word. My father liked to have fun, and I know that all of you can relate to that. We were a family of 6 children, all of whom he loved and supported in individual and various ways, just as your families have supported you. With me, it was always sports. Not only was it throwing or kicking a ball around, but I remember him, at my mother's insistence, leading the entire family in runs before breakfast through the neighborhood, no matter the weather, when we were all very young. Or I can still see him riding his bike to work 50 years ago. My father believed in giving back. He particularly cared about providing opportunities for education, tuition support, and all things Canadian. He honored diversity on a daily basis, from the people that he worked with to those he met on the street. My parents also loved and supported the Canadian cultural scene, and in particular, they loved the National Ballet of Canada. Karen Kane, who is retiring from the National Ballet after decades as prima ballerina and subsequently the ballet's fantastic artistic director, is here today on this stage to honor my father. Karen was on stage 27 years ago when my dad received his first honorary degree. Thanks, Karen, for joining us today. And finally, I would like to leave you with some of the words and sentiments that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt my father would have said today had he been standing here in person at this lectern. These originate from a time when he was the Chancellor of York University. At York University, during his tenure, it simply became known as the speech. My dad encouraged the graduates to stand en masse and applaud those that got them here today. If this class is so moved, I invite you to stand and applaud those that assisted you in getting here, your spouses, your parents, your partners, and just give them a big round. They did some of the legwork here. And to the audience, he always said, audiences are expected to restrain themselves as befits the seriousness of the occasion. However, then he went on to say, we strongly encourage parents and friends to ignore such rules and to clap and cheer, whoop and holler, or demonstrate their enthusiasm any way they wish. As I was walking down here in preparation for giving these remarks, I said this to the Chancellor, and she said, well, guess what? Toronto Metropolitan's no different, and she's inviting everybody to enjoy themselves this afternoon because you're never going to have another day like it. Today's a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves, all of you. My hearty congratulations and best wishes to you all. Thank you to the Toronto Metropolitan University for conferring the posthumous honorary doctorate of laws on my father, Avi Bennett. Thank you.
As our graduands prepare to come forward, take this opportunity to request that you hold your applause until all of the graduates have crossed the stage. We will, however, welcome spontaneous outbursts of joy, enthusiasm, or even relief from friends and family. That is all part of your celebration. And so that all graduates are celebrated equally, we will ask that everyone please remain for the duration of the ceremony. I'd now like to ask to come forward, and I thank in advance the university's registrar, Robin Parr.
Will the graduands please rise if you're able? Chancellor Fukakusa, President Lashmi, Provost Simpson, honored guests, faculty members, staff, families and friends of the graduands. I have the honor and pleasure to present graduands from Toronto Metropolitan University's Ted Rogers School of Management degree programs. Our graduands, including all those who are joining us for today's ceremony, as well as those who are unable to join us and are graduating in absentia. I certify that each has met the academic requirements for the awards they are about to receive, and that each has been duly approved by the University Senate. My congratulations to each of you. You can be seated.
Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present candidates for the undergraduate degrees in the Ted Rogers School of Management. Bachelor of Commerce, Business Management, Management. Rana Perez with distinction. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Global Management Studies. Noah Aaron. Kyle Abella with distinction. Aim Abeyanosa. Joseph Abu Hatoum. Elaha Adib. Armin Agamanukian. Mutasim Ahmed. Muhammad Ali with distinction. Alex Antoniewicz. Chiara Aparicio. Muhammad Maz Zafar Arain. Farwa Ayub. Alan Bartak with distinction. Jeanette Basilio. Jeff Benson. Stefan Borges with distinction. Karan Pratap Brar. Mauricio Calero with distinction. Alana Campos. Annabella Caroleo with distinction. Kaisali Chaviwala. Sishin Chen. Brandon Chu. Michael Cichelli. Eden Kuriali. Derek Diaz. Giuseppe D'Alessandro. Babneet Dayol. Jesse Dhaliwal. Meharlal Danjal. Munit Dillon with distinction. Natasha Dobriansky. Pranavan Elankumaran. Ghazal El Reyes. Lubna Ashesh. Asif Farabi with distinction. Jiaxi Feng with distinction. Matthew Fontanilla. Aiden Gagich. Prabjot Gandam. Nicholas Garrow. Juliana Gantus with distinction. Charnjeet Gill. Sanamdeep Gill. Todd Goncalves. Kalijah Goulburn. Harshdeep Grewal. Navneesh Grewal, Sachit Gurtita, Coral Hall Orton, Ethan Harling, Sheikh Hassan, Ali Moon Hong, Harrison Hudson, Morgan Heisman, Jahan Huyn, Anan Islam, Nazia Jabin, Mohammad Jahan, Sarah Jalal, Khalid Kamal al-Din Saad, Sharia Raj Kapoor, Daniel Karmali, Armali Karunakaran, Harneet Kaur, Bavithiran Kathiswaran, Asma Khan, Khadija Khan with distinction, Qasim Khan, Shuchita Khan, Devak Kondal, Brooke Lacroix, Kevin Lay, Aaron Lee, Jing Lee, Nicole Lipa, Jiashuan Sonia Liu with distinction, Yujia Liu, Arisa Luital, Fernando Marte Henriquez, Shefali Matur, Kayani Mifarag, Marissa McRulis, Francis Melingi, Stuart Morton with distinction, Omaima Nugman, Dhiren Naidu, Strahinia Nakik, Julia Narchi with distinction, Ana Karen Nava Sanchez, Emmanuel Negash, Ajanthan Nithiyaraja, Catherine Orr, Miriam Watara, who is also receiving a certificate in architecture, Kuthin Ozdemir. Michael Panchenko. Gabrielle Pangilinan. Lisa Papageorgiou. Payal Patel. Aaron Pathmanathan. Jacob Paris. Marco Petosa. Jamie Plant. Umang Prajapati. Liansoa Randrianaina. Victoria Raspa. Maher Razi. Zunaira Raihan. Alexia Raka with distinction. Gabriel Rodes Salazar. Peter Rogers. Giuseppe Rashika. Patrick Rilo. Ulvi Safarov. Mohannad Saleh. Eosius Samuel. Rojeen Sayed Saga. Anusin Shanmuganathan. Chowdhury Chavez. Alex Shen. Tariq Sheikh. Sharar Shumik with distinction. Harpreet Singh. Robin Singh. Kabishan Siva Subramaniam. Karishan Siva Subramaniam. Ilyas Kidanov. Karamjot Sodi. Daniel Stanchulescu. Yegor Suhinin. Walid Sayed. Aaron Thomas. Ahmet Toran with distinction. Rathujan Vinayagamurthy. Kan Wong with distinction. Lucy Wang. Madison White. Rachel William. Bachelor of Commerce Honors, Business Management, Global Management Studies Cooperative Program. Michelle Ajobena. Rag Arabian. Madison Chan. Jonathan Croco with distinction. Kyle Cruz with distinction. Manveen Dillon. Lauren DiNardo with distinction. Michiko Adrienne Gotan. Emiliano Hernandez. Alexander Jacobs with distinction. Alessandra La Rosa Fox. Ryan Manahan with distinction. Artika Naresh Kumar with distinction. Ronak Patel with distinction. Laura Paker. Ryan Salehi with distinction. Sarav Sejal. Ali Sethi. Sean Sharma with distinction. Anupriya Simon with distinction. Juan Soriano. Agash Sritharan. Isabella Shuchatinsky with distinction. Carmina Thangaraja with distinction. Aiden Tate. Jonathan C. with distinction. Christina Zabelin with distinction. Stefan Zivkovic. Bachelor of Commerce Honors, Business Management, Human Resources Management. Jamal Abdalli. Hiba Abdallah with distinction. Celine Adante. Hina Ahmed. Ali Akbar Aminzadeh. Methuna Arumugam. Shomya Baleswaran. Nida Barekzeh. Tarsha Baskaran with distinction. Sharina Basra. Arvind Bedi with distinction. Sukriti Bardwaj with distinction. Gurleen Brar. Ariana Cantos. Victoria Cassin. Adrita Chakma. Catherine Chong. Saima Chowdhury. Cynthia Curtis with distinction. Andrea Dinulescu Lawrence. Elaine Dizon, with distinction. Nicole Dolgino. Ifoni Izasor. Saeed Faridi. Ghazal Fazal. Lovely Felicitas. Emily Fraser, with distinction. Stefanie Gandhinathan. Kuljit Gill. Alessia Juliana. Anthony Go. Sahaj Grewal. Eunice Ginto. Soria Haydari. Roxana Halko. Christine Hernandez. Brianna Hughes. Dane Hussein. Lauren Imbrogno. Yusuf Isaac. Ryan Jans. Juliana Juarez. Tarunya Kasinathan. Haristan Kirupa. Emma Kazma. Victoria Lewis. Dichuan Liu. Anusanti Loganathan. Michelle Lee. Jessica Ma. Timothy Mack, with distinction. Jatika Mahadaya. Daniel Mancarius, with distinction. Jonathan Matthew. Susanna Milosevic, with distinction. Maham Mirza. Sorab Mirzada. Sharana Mohammed. Shobika Mahundan. Maria Claire Molali. Aliabid Musa. Gabriel Naguse. Alice Nguyen, with distinction. Peter Nguyen. Akuna Nwaogu. Naomi Olbino. Savrit Panu. Isabel Panopio. Danisha Patrick. Tanya Pavlovic. Katana Fan. Yekaterina Pivovarova. Asiya Popal. Karen Price with distinction. Selena Ruseva with distinction. Natasha Sagal. Samantha Salas. Jishnu Satishwaran. Rivka Savage. Samira Shamji. Pranavan Sivanathan. Ferenc Siva Soriban. Arutsini Srivik Ramaraja Singham. Samantha Thomas with distinction. Lauren Tilemans. Aaron Titke. Johnson Tran with distinction. Yuki Tu. Ratika Vasanthan. Roberta Valescu. Sierra Whitlock. Maliza Yao Li. Marcus Yao. Huishan Zhong. Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Business Management, Human Resources Management, Cooperative Program. Jerome Balancho. Gabriela Bunag. Jasmine Chima. Amber DiSalvo with distinction. Anika Hussain. Taima Jalul with distinction, who is being greeted on stage by their uncle, Mohammed Al-Zaybek, former University Board member and 2022 Honorary Doctor recipient. Jonathan Lavado. Amanda Locke with distinction. Jessica Mark with distinction. Alexandra Miovic. Aliyah Najarali. Malika Nasser with distinction. Grace Polichikio, Janani Premakumar, Anisa Rashad with distinction, Samantha Reed with distinction, Zainab Shah, Abira Sivakumaran, Alexandra Stenka, Bachelor of Health Administration, Hilda Agye, Wajiha Ahmed with distinction, Kapildev Ambalagan, Karen Bolesa, Madeline Flair, Elena Gieman, Patricia Kwan, Arlene McCormick with distinction, Jennifer Meir with distinction, Rita Risto with distinction, Li Fan Jessica Ruan with distinction, Devi Santikumar, Justin Smith with distinction, Miriam Thiagarajan with distinction, Norma Tomlin with distinction, Bachelor of Health Administration, Health Information Management, Christian Dagohoy with distinction, Lisa Dale, Kaseta Dewar Morgan with distinction, Kelly Hollinger, Rand Muhtam with distinction, Bachelor of Commerce, Honors, Retail Management, Adam Al-Arabi, Arshvir Badial, Bradley Bartolome, Shade Charles, Shui Chen, Xian Chin, Natalie Chung, Miriam Deef, Laura De Lorenzi with distinction, Shannon English, Jonathan Garcia Limani, Joanna Gonsalves, Adriana Grankerik, Catherine Hartwick with distinction, Aaron Hurd with distinction, Toylin Huang, Keely Howell, Rebecca Hughes. Nirosh Jayaraja. Muhammad Khattak. Melissa Kubridis. Pingying Liu with distinction. Harleen Mahal. Christina Mashaline with distinction. Sarah McMahon. Ken Nguyen. Calvin Pillay. James Pratas. Nicholas Reagan. Brooke Richards. Leith Safi. Nikki Brianne Samonte with distinction. Muhammad Arham Sethi. Jasmine Shannon. Awad Salim. Massimo Spagnuolo. Alicia Zaban. Linglin Zhu. Bachelor of Commerce Honors, Retail Management Cooperative Program. Christy Fisher. Zoe Gionsis with distinction. Mayan Huang. Huzaifa Memon. Christy Tien. Madam Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of today's graduates.
Hello, Toronto Met grads. I'm Jen McMillan, Vice Provost Students, and I'm so excited to share this moment with you. After years of hard work and great memories, you finally made it to the finish line. Congratulations on this huge accomplishment. I know you have a lot of family and friends in your corners too, people who supported you when you needed it most and who cheered you on at every milestone. Whether they are near or far, they are celebrating you today, and no doubt incredibly proud of your achievements. I hope you feel that your degree not only represents what you learned in the classroom, but how you made the most of your time here. You worked hard, tackling assignments, studying for exams, and balancing jobs, but also played hard, joining clubs, making athletics history, and becoming student leaders. While some of you might have grown up close by, many of you spent hours on a plane to get here, and that's the beauty of this place. We're a community made up of people from all around the world who found a second home at TMU. So take all of your experiences, your successes and learnings, and dive into every opportunity that lies ahead. Grow the network of friends you've built here and help one another thrive in new spaces around the world. I hope you keep getting involved, keep speaking up, and keep living out loud because this world needs you, just as you are. Do you hear me? It needs you, and I'm so happy we could help you on your way. Congratulations again.
When I moved here to go to university, I was, this kid in this big, intimidating city, and this place just felt like home to me.
And I knew immediately, having just come from Jamaica, that that was the place for me.
I spent 3 years here. These are still the best 3 years of my life.
One of the fondest memories that I had was being here at 1, 2 in the morning. You're leaving at around 3 a.m., but it didn't matter because you were doing what you loved.
My fondest memory at the university was the day I graduated. Dr. G. Raymond Chang, our previous chancellor, was handing it off to me. I remember when I got up to that stage, I whispered over to him, "I'm Jamaican as well. I'm so proud to have you as my chancellor," and we giggled.
Interaction with meeting students from all over the world, interaction with my instructors of the day.
My fondest memory was getting a husband.
The warmth, the camaraderie, the buildings were so friendly.
During my 8 years as president of the university, I officiated at well over 50 convocations. My fondest memory really was to see the students coming across the stage, to see their families excited with them, and to see so many of the students who are graduating be the first in their family to get a degree.
And it's all true. Yes, thank you. It's not fluff.
Please welcome our Provost, Vice President Academic, Jennifer Simpson.
Good afternoon. It's so good to be here with you in person today to celebrate your graduation. And it's been, I think I speak for all of us, it's such a privilege to see each of you walk across the stage and your excitement, and each of you just in your own person. Each of you is your own person when you come up here, and we see all of that. So that's great. This is my first graduation as well. My name is Jennifer Simpson. I'm the Provost and Vice President Academic, and I got here about a year ago to Toronto Metropolitan University. You have arrived at this day, at this celebration, and at this accomplishment. So once again, congratulations for all your hard work. As we bring today's ceremony to a close, we have a chance to reflect on the sacrifices and successes that have led to this moment. Take a minute to consider the challenges that you have had to overcome. Endless study sessions and all-nighters dedicated to finishing that project or to getting through tough exams. You've balanced extracurricular activities with a demanding academic schedule. And on top of all of this, a global pandemic that pushed and challenged you in unanticipated ways. We can also consider the incredible things that you've gained along the way. Cherished memories at varsity games and campus events to reminisce about with lifelong friends. And hopefully, a deep-seated appetite for learning to fuel your growth in the years ahead. Every day in earning your degrees, you showed up, you persevered, you asked tough questions, you challenged the status quo, and you triumphed. This is a day of well-deserved celebration for you and your families and friends. In many ways, each of you now are standing at the beginning of your own next chapter. We expect that moving ahead, you'll have moments of excitement and sometimes of frustration and self-doubt. I was having one of those moments of self-doubt about a year after I was sitting in the chair that you're sitting in now. And at that time I was in an internship and it was ending, and I had to figure out very quickly what I was going to do next. And I was a bit overwhelmed. I hadn't done a lot of planning. I had to figure it out, like I said. And what I decided in that moment was to contact a professor from my program. And I was worried. I didn't know if he'd remember me. I hadn't been in touch. But not only did he remember me, he was so excited to hear from me. The words he said more than 30 years ago, I still remember. He said, "Jennifer, as much as possible, I hope that you can follow your heart." That's what we hope for all of you, and that we want you to remember. We'll be excited to hear from you. We hope that in those moments of self-doubt and frustration when they come, and excitement, that you reach out and share those with professors, with friends, with family, with people that you got to know at TMU. We also hope for you that you can hold on to your hearts, your own passions and commitments, and who you are. We encourage you to continue to ask questions, to keep learning, and to stay open. I'll take a moment, too, to say a special thank you to the family members and friends who have helped you along the way, both those of you in the room today and in other places who couldn't be here. All of your support has been incredibly important to each one of our graduates, and you have contributed to their success in incalculable ways. So graduates, everyone, let's thank the families and friends who have supported you. Once again, I wish you good luck and congratulations. We hope that you can remember that by completing your journey here, you will always be part of the Toronto Metropolitan University family, an ever-growing group of passionate people doing remarkable work in every corner of the world. Once again, congratulations and good luck with all of your future endeavors. We look forward to what each of you will contribute to our shared future. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Provost Simpson. I'd like to thank all of the staff, volunteers, and the faculty here today who helped make this ceremony a wonderful experience for all of us. Graduates and guests, once again, congratulations from everyone at the university. I hope you continue to enjoy this very special day. But first, if you can, please rise and join Carrie Weeb from the Office of the Dean and the Ted Rogers School of Management in the singing of our national anthem. Following the anthem, please remain standing until all of our graduates have left the arena. And thank you for celebrating with us today.